Education issues, you heard about the State Board of Education. We ended up, Glenda Ritz is going to keep all of her powers until the end of her term. We did put in a vice as of July 1. We have a new board. It has 11 members again. 9 of them the governor appoints, the Senate President appoints one, Governor or House Speaker appoints one, and then whoever the Superintendent of Public Instruction is. So it's still an 11-member board. They are going to have a vice chair of the board. As you know, the board has not gotten along real well. Glenda Ritz walked out on one meeting, took the microphones with him, and the board wasn't able to do any work. So now they are going to have a vice chair, so if she does walk out in a little huff, they will be able to finish up what the agenda is. Nursing home moratorium, 3 years?
Not sure.
For the next 3 years, Indiana will not put out any more nursing home licenses. Issue there is, you know, for those of us in the free market business, you think, hey, let them build what they can. Build it and they will come. I forget the exact number, but it's like 75% of all the money that goes to a nursing home comes from the state. It's not a total free market competition. There's about 12,000 beds. I think that's number 12. There's a huge number of empty beds in the state of Indiana.
Nearly 2/3 of our state budget now goes for education. I think Dave mentioned that we increased the funding for K-12 education by almost $500 million. So quite substantial there. And I think most of the schools in our district here really will feel the positive effects of that. Also co-sponsor on the RFRA, the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, which I'm sure that you've heard much about. It was one of the big issues this time. So it was mischaracterized by both sides of what it was doing or what it was trying to do. I'm still convinced it's a good bill. It's instructing the courts on how to process what steps they have to go through if there's this conflict between religious freedom and the law. And so it's just telling the courts what they should do. Why is it necessary? Well, we saw a few years ago that the Castle Doctrine, which had been in place, you know, since the Magna Carta, right? Since medieval times, where in your house, you're the king of your house. You have control of what happens inside your house, and yet our Supreme Court says that doesn't apply anymore because we don't have a state law that specifically says that. So the legislature fixed that a few years ago. Conflict with our laws. The example is the Amish people around here that don't want their photos on their IDs. And if we would say that everyone needs to have a photo ID, that would go against their religion. We actually took care of that in this session with the non-photo ID for those people. Another example is if your religion says that you should kill everyone that's not of your religion, okay? There would be an example of religion that would be in conflict with our law.